garden's been open to the public today, but it's been so hot, it's about 31 degrees, that we haven't had that many people, and they've mostly now gone. So I thought I'd just wander around and take you on a little tour as though you were paying visitors. So here we go. I'd like them to start here, where they can see the top of the garden from the house, and I usually point out the fact there's some tea waiting for them over there under that red umbrella. And so they walk up here, everything is so full at the moment, although funnily enough my Trachelospermum, oops, something's happened to this, hang on, stop waving about. The Trachelospermum hasn't started to flower at all, which is very odd. Anyway, you come through here, suddenly gets cool and shady. There's a nice shady table and chairs for people to have tea on, and then you walk through this little path past the armillary sphere and down onto the terrace past the horse with the kitchen open in front of you, and you see the loggia where you can sit in the shade and, if necessary, later have tea. And then you get a view back down the garden from here, the pond, and then you come round, and here you see tea laid out, 2 sorts of cake, 2 sorts of teas, cups of course are paper cups because of, well, we all know why. Even though the restrictions have just been lifted, but people like it, I think, if they feel as though they've been looked after. And I've got a lovely thing here. This is the this is the little thing that Kay brought back from Japan for me. And what you do, can you see it? It's called Greedy No Face. And you put your coin in there, and you're paying for tea, and it swallows it. There we are. Anyway, that's where tea is, and most people don't take tea straight away. They then walk on down the garden, past the horse. Quite a lot of the people realise that it's a tang horse, which is quite good. Past all this area, past the seat and the croquet. And of course we're playing croquet more and more now, which is rather fun, because it really works well on this lawn. Then down here, down past these cool shady beds, and I will just point out that there's an extraordinary collection of plants just waiting here. And the reason for that is that I've got a chap called Alan Titchmarsh coming on Thursday, and he's going to do a demonstration patio garden here. Quite what it entails, I really don't know. We shall see. But anyway, the people who are running the show have brought down all these plants for him to plant, and a few planters and things, so I'll find out what he's going to be doing. Anyway, further on down, there's another cool border, or 2 cool borders here. Come on, stop waving around you. There you are. This is the best place to sit. It's right under the tree, so it's lovely and cool. You can have your tea there if you want to. Then you come down and you suddenly find yourself faced with the grass garden, which of course looks completely different from everything else, and is looking really lovely at the moment. And this big border here with some big plants, some roses, some ferns, eryngiums, echinops, hebes, teucriums, all sorts of stuff. And you walk on, keeping an eye out for things elsewhere, and then you come to this strange little corner of the garden, which is all wildflowers, behind this huge bit of estate fencing. So they're spilling out of here and self-seeding everywhere, which is wonderful. I love it. But it's a lovely, cool, mysterious area at the end of the garden. People always wonder what goes on in there, but the answer is absolutely nothing. It's just wildflowers. And then you get another view of the grasses in the middle with a big pressed brick urn, which is rather lovely. And you can look back and see the light on this great big wall, this lovely flint wall. And the echinops, of course, are turning blue as they do this particular variety. They'll be much brighter blue later on. They're rather lovely. Then we go on here, past the honeysuckles, self-seeded things. This is wild carrot, actually, the umbellifer down here. And then up at the back, there's a great big, can't really see it, it's obscured at the moment, but you can, later on there will be a huge bamboo which will fluff right over the top of the summer house. It'll be beautiful. Here is the orchard, and the orchard's looking really good these days. I love it because it's really throwing a lot of shade. It makes a lovely spot to come to. Over there is my reading chair, and it's a particularly good one because it's in the shade. It's under this apple tree, and if you look the other way, of course, you get this fantastic borrowed landscape. You can see that wonderful Scots pine that is so beautiful. There we are. Absolutely lovely. And then you get this area which I've only created this year by leaving the grass long. It's been very difficult. Planted bulbs in here. And actually this week I even went out and bought some chocolate cosmos, which is what you can see, little dots of dark colour over in the corner there. Do you see them? And there's some more here. So I thought that would be rather fun to have. Anyway, and the fruit trees are looking pretty good. They're actually, I thought they wouldn't have many plums and things on, but they're looking quite well covered with plums, which is wonderful. I thought the frost had got it. Anyway, this is an apple, this is a cherry, this is a green gauge, yeah. I don't think there are many, but I can see one right there. And this is a Mirabelle, the Mirabelle plum, the lovely yellow plum. And then there's a pear. And there's the area where we sit and have drinks in the evening if necessary, or tea. Nice area to sit and chat. Venky's Terrace it's called, after my dear friend Venky. Then you look back through the grasses, catching the light, and you can walk back this way. See, there are some things other than grasses here. There are some spherocephalums, which are really quite striking. Some echinops, which I love, just coming out. And this beautiful bright Moorheim Beauty it's called. Anyway, and then we go back through the cool under this wonderful hazel tree, and you get the feeling of almost of a cathedral with those great stems and that great chunk of stone like an altar beneath. I love it. Beautiful area. And then through these pillars, these piers, back into the light. And this is when people stop and go and buy some tea. They have to pay £3 for tea and cake. And then they go and find somewhere nice and cool and shady to sit down. And sometimes some people spend, an hour or more sitting, which is lovely. And one can have a chat to them. Anyway, so that's the garden on a July afternoon. There we are.